G'day guys, we are here at Brisbane Airport to find out if Samsonite's new Octolite Neo range is just as good as my trusty old Octolite standard range that I've now had for over 500 flights for this trusty bag, and my full-size 81 centimeter bag from Samsonite I have used for at least 150 flights, and that in itself is absolutely incredible given that most suitcases get destroyed after a handful of flights. Now, I made a video several months ago where I was saying that this bag was starting to get a little bit old. It was over, at that stage, it was just hit 500 flights. And Samsonite reached out and said that they had a new range of Octolite Neo bags that were there to replace my trusty old Octolite. At first I was a little bit hesitant. I've become really attached to this thing and I love it because it's never let me down. I've been on so many flights, so many aircraft types. And on top of that, there's also been road trips that they've gone on. And also whenever I've gone to expos and trade shows, I have taken this bag and carried it around to collect samples, brochures, pamphlets, so that I didn't have to have a backpack. Not only that, is when I've flown myself as a pilot, I have also taken this little handy cabin size bag, which is 55 centimeters, and I've just absolutely come to love it. So we're here at Brisbane Airport, we're testing out the bag sizes to make sure that they weigh what they say they weigh on the website. Starting with this one, this is meant to be 2.6 kilos, and as you can see from the scale test, it's 2.6 kilos, so bang on, and that's including a handful of warranty cards that are inside the bag. Second one is this one. Now, this roller here is a mid-size roller. It's fantastic because it is expandable, but it also is just a nice, comfortable size for a trip that's maybe 4 or 5 days in duration without having to take a huge amount of stuff with you. And you could really push that up to 2 weeks if you were going away and still have enough in that bag to keep you going and get you home. Now, this roller itself, this weighs in at 4 kilos on the Samsonite website, and here at Brisbane Airport, it's weighed in at 4 kilos on their scales as well. So good job so far, Samsonite. Now, this big bad boy, this is actually the size of the case that I travel with the most. You would have seen it in a lot of my videos. It's my big aqua colored one. I love that bag, particularly because it's so easy to spot when it comes out on the conveyor belt, because there wasn't many of those in the limited run done in Australia. This one here has weighed in at 4.5 kilos, fluctuating up to 4.6. Now, that is in part to it a whole lot more warranty cards and paperwork inside, and potentially just a fluctuation error on the actual scale itself. We have tried another scale, and that was 4.5 to 4.4 is what it was floating between. So it's rated at 4.4 on the Samsonite website, so you're going to be within 0.1 of a kilogram when it comes to this bag, so you're well and truly covered there again. Now, what I love about this bag is the handle itself has multiple positions, so you can go the whole way, all the way to the bottom, and it's still at a nice height that if the airline does break your handle or you just don't want to use the handle, you can actually pull it just from the top handle. I've had regularly about 30 to 32 kilos in this bag. I've had it expanded, not expanded, and quite often I just use the top handle. And let me tell you, over the last few years of owning the bag, going to multiple countries, going through several cobblestone streets, the wheels have held up and also the handle. So I'm confident that the new series of Octolite Neos will do exactly the same. And I've never had a handle break from normal regular use, except one bag where during COVID, I placed it at the baggage carousel with 0 issues. It was its first flight. And then after that, it came back and American Airlines had actually damaged the bag. And I could tell because the way that the handle had actually bent, you could see as if someone had actually put a bit of pressure in 2 particular spots on it rather than even weight on the bag. So again, I've had nothing but great experiences with all of these Samsonites. And even going to my old bag still rolls effectively. The handle has multiple positions of where it goes in and out. But the downside to this bag is it's just getting a little bit long in the tooth, and you know, it's not expandable, so sometimes I am caught out with a little bit of extra space that I could have used, and having the expandable version of it in the new Octolite Neo is going to be an absolutely fantastic option for me. So I'm really grateful to the guys at Samsonite who have sent it out. Now, it's not a typical sponsored review. Yes, they have sent me the products and I have not paid for them. So to make that clear, the bags are free. That's not impeding any of my judgment with this particular review. This one here is about just first impressions, first glance, and general functionality. And as you can see from my tattered and tired old bag, it still rolls really nicely. It still carries a bit of weight in it. It regularly carries more than the allowed cabin weight for most of the airlines that I travel with. And quite often it also has one of these bags sitting on top of it. So I'm more than confident that this is going to just be worth it in the long run if you were to go out and buy a Samsonite bag for yourself. I ummed when I bought this. I'd actually had several cheaper brand bags in the past, but at the rate that I was going through those bags, I took a leap of faith, and I paid, at the time, I think I paid $350 maybe for this, or $300. That was about 6 years ago when these first came out. And I thought, it's really expensive for a cabin bag, but it's not let me down. So it's one thing that I absolutely love with this bag. As you can see from the side at the top, super easy to open and close. The great thing with this one is the zips all still work, and all work really seamlessly as well. So once I open that up, you'll see there, like, the zips open up nice and neatly, and I do carry quite a bit in my bags because we're constantly filming. So sometimes I've got tripods in here, or I've got spare power banks, drones. In here, I've just got general run-of-the-mill stuff. And what I really love about this bag is these zips have held up throughout all those flights and that whole time, and not once have the zips actually ever broken or shown signs of damage. Which is really impressive, because I've had other bags, some more expensive, some a lot less expensive, that have all ended up failing with the zips, or had a little bit of cloth fraying on the edges, so that as you started using the bag a bit more, you had to be a bit more cautious about opening and closing the bag with the zip, because the frayed material on the edges of the actual zip liner had started to deteriorate, and you couldn't smoothly open and close it. So that's been another big win for me with Samsonite. Like, it's never let me down. If you own a Samsonite bag and you're trying to upgrade, let me know in the comments section what you think and what your experience has been. But without further ado, let's have a look inside this bag. So, as I mentioned, it's expandable, but it's also got a couple of nice, neat little features in here. So the warranty card obviously gives you all the information, and the sales tag gives you a little bit more info. So what's really cool about this is the interior lining and the zipper tape and zipper teeth are all made from 100% recycled PET consumer bottles. So I think Coke bottles, water bottles, milk bottles, that kind of stuff. You have that. This little zip up here gives you a little bit of storage, so you can slide things into here nice and neatly. This one here still has the actual nylon security tape, so I've got to take that off. And then the actual mesh cover over here is nice and open, plenty of space for you to drop whatever you need to drop into here, but to also quickly be able to see what's actually coming out of this side of the bag. A little bit of storage over here will allow you to store things like maybe a toothbrush, maybe an AirTag, whatever you really want to store in there. And these are just fantastic, so they expand really well. But the cool part is they've actually included this design on these new ones where they actually slide in. So if you don't actually need to have those out, you can just slide these in to store them, so that the straps themselves are not in the way when you're trying to open and close the bag. And plenty of space in here as well. And as I mentioned before, the interior lining as well as the zips, they're all made from recycled materials, which is actually quite nice. So, at the end of the day, we do have to be a bit more mindful in how we use and consume. So being able to recycle some of that plastic and put it into something cool like the lining of your suitcase is a perfect use for it. One thing I was mentioning was the actual expansion. So if you want to expand this out, it's just one zip around the side here, really, really quickly. And that's basically the additional expansion you go with. So you get approximately 5 liters of additional space once this zone is expanded, which is perfect if you're going maybe on a slightly longer trip and you find something that you want to buy, or maybe you need a couple of pairs of shoes in the one bag. You can quickly and easily expand this bag up to get what you need done. And then to close it back up, these zips, super seamless. So you've closed that up, and then you just close this one up again very, very easily. So that's one thing. The other thing I like is where they've positioned the actual zippers. So the previous range of Octolites for the cabin bags had them in the same position, but as you can see from this bag, they were a little bit thinner and a little bit less robust when they were locked into place, just because of the way that this was designed. So these have just been thickened, which I think will just make them like fit a little bit quicker and easier over time. And they've given this raised edge as well to make it a little bit nicer and smoother. They've also cleaned this up as well. So to open and unlock, you just flick that now. That unlocks it and places them back where they need to be. This one just had a slightly bigger release just here to do the exact same. So you just got a couple things there. In terms of the handles, you'll see from the back, just a slight different design in the handle and slightly different extension options for this design as well. So the different stages of lock and release. And you still have these as well. So quite well. That one there, like I said, for a bag that's done over 500 flights, I think when I looked at my flight tracking spreadsheet, I think it's about 530 flights, something like that, that this bag has come with me on, because this literally goes with me everywhere. And even when we go and film car reviews and we're on road trips, this is the bag that I take with me. So I'm not carrying duffels, I'm not carrying anything else. Like, this is literally it, and it usually cops a hiding, it gets overloaded, it gets chucked with stacks of weight from camera gear and camera equipment, laptops, everything. And then on top of that, I have my other bag as well. So really, really nice bag, and really, really nice design from Samsonite for the updated Octolite range as well. So let me know in the comment section what you think, whether you'd consider these bags, and let me know what you want to do and if you have any questions. In the meantime, I'll work with Samsonite to see if we can bring you more reviews and bring you updates as I use these bags. We've got so far about 110 to 120 flights planned for 2025. So this will get a bit of a workout, and I'll let you know how happy or unhappy I am with the bag and whether it's still holding up to the same legacy that this bad boy has lived up to. And I gotta be honest, this still has plenty of life in it. So it's not going anywhere. It just will feature a little bit less in my videos, and this will feature a little bit more. So let me know in the comment section what you think.